Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi Maseches SOTAH Daf Mem Beis. We are holding on Mem Aleph Amud Beis at the third line from the bottom of the Amud. We're in the middle of the topic of Chanufa, being careful to avoid offering flattery to one who is not deserving, to a Rasha, because it justifies his ways, and the one who offers that flattery is accountable for the Rasha's deeds. V'amar B'Lazar, you don't gain anything by flattering. Kol ha'machnif l'chaveri. Some switch it to machlif l'Rasha. He offers undue praise to a Rasha, thinking that, this will get him on his good side. He'll earn some points. No. Ultimately, soif neifel biyadei. He will fall into his hands. He's not going to have mercy on him. He'll end up being victimized by this fellow who he tried to impress. And if it's not directly in his hands, neifel biyad banav, ultimately in his children's hands. If it's not his kids, neifel biyad ben benai, his grandson, ultimately his flattery will come back to haunt him. Shenemar, as we find in the story of Yirmiyah Hanavi, who should have flatly, told off Hananya for being a false prophet, upon prophesying good things that are going to happen, when in fact Hashem was warning just the opposite. And ultimately Yirmiyah suffered in the hands of Hananya's grandson. Shenemar, we find in the pasuk, Vayomer Yirmiyah Hananya, after Hananya gave his false nevuah that things will be safe and sound and successful, Yirmiyah, instead of chastising him and calling him out, said to him, Amen, Kenyas Hashem, it should be the will of Hashem, things should work out the way you're saying it. Yakim Hashem Esvarecha. Ultimately, it didn't help. Not only that, he ended up stumbling and he got into big trouble in the hands of Hananya's grandchild. So Yirmiyah was on the way out of Yerushalayim. He was in this shar called Shar Ben Yamin, and he was going to take care of some inheritance the Yerusha that he got in Eretz Ben Yamin. The Kasdim were attacking the city, and he was accused of going to join the Kasdim. Visham, and right there, who was standing? A guard, Baal Pikidus, and what was his name? Ushma Yiriyah ben Shelemya ben Chananya, the grandson of that Navi Sheker, Chananya ben Azra. Vayitpois es Yirmiyahu HaNavi. So he grabbed him and he accused him of joining the enemy. Leimor ela Kasdim atanayfel, you're going to join the Kasdim against us. Vayemer Yirmiyahu flatly denies it. Sheker, untrue. Eineni neifel Kasdim, I'm not going to join the Kasdim, I'm just going to get look after my property. And what happened? He got into big trouble. Yirmiyahu, he grabbed Yirmiyahu, and he brought him to the officers, he arrested him. So you see the Chanufa came back to haunt him. V'amar Rabbi Yehuda, kol eda sheyesh b'chanufa, a community which is inundated with Chanufa, Musa Kanida. That community to Hashem is most like a Nida. Hashem is uninterested in interacting with that community. Shenemar ke'adas chanif. If it's an Eda, a community engaged in Chanufa, Galmud, they are called Galmud. And what is Galmud? A Nida. They are distanced from Hashem like a Nida. Sheken b'kar chayim, because in the cities of the sea, Kairin l'Nida Galmuda, they use the word Galmuda to describe a Nida. Why? My Galmuda. Why this word Galmuda? Because it's like a joint word, an acronym. Gemula Dami Bala. She's separate, like Vayigomel Hanar, Rashi brings, separation from her husband. V'amar B'Lazar kol Eda she'esh b'chanufa, an Eda which has Chanufa, the Seif Goyla, that community will end up going into exile. We find here the pasuk referring to an Eda, a community, a tzibur, guilty of chanufa, and it has the word galmud, uksiv hasam. And we have elsewhere, Ramata bilvavcha miyalad le'es ele, vanishchula, v'galmuda, goyla v'sura. So we find the lashon galmuda near goyla, going into exile, and that's what happens to an Eda with chanufa. Omar Yirmiyah bar Abba, Arba Kitais, the following 4 groups of people engaged in verbal misconduct. Ein mekablis pnei shchina, they're not going to be worthy of receiving the shchina, of being exposed to the shchina. Kat chleitzim, people engaged in frivolity and leitzanas and joking. V'kas chanefim, flatterers. V'kas shekarim, liars. V'kat misapri lashon hara, those engaged in speaking lashon hara. And the Maharsha says what's unique about these 4 groups of people, this all involves dibur, improper speech, which is so potent and so dangerous if misused. Kat leitzim, where do we find that the leitzim experience this? The chsiv mashach yades leitzim, Hashem pulls away from being together with leitzanim. What about the kat chanefim? The chsiv kiloi lefanav chanef yavei. A chanef, a flatterer, does not find his place in front of Hashem. What about the kat shakarim? The chsiv doiver shakarim, one who speaks falsehood, lo yikoin leneged einai. He does not present himself in front of me, Hashem saying. Finally, the kat mesapri lashon hara, the chsiv ki lo keil chafetz resha ata lo yigur chara. One who is called ra, and Rashi says that's the one speaking lashon hara. Right? Because the pasuk there, the parsha there, is speaking about those who engage in lashon hara. That's it. They don't find the shechina. Tzaddik ata Hashem, you're a tzaddik Hashem, lo yogur b'megur chara. One who is ra, involved in lashon hara, is not mekabel pnei hashchina. You see the great care a person should take when it comes to his koyach hadibur, which separates him from animal, which makes him who he is. Hadran Allah elo nemar. Continues the Mishnah, Moshuach Muhammad. So this is a kohen anointed for the specific purpose of leading Klal Yisrael to war. When he would address the nation in preparation to war, he would speak in Lashon HaKodesh specifically. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, when you get close to the war zone, the kohen will approach you and start speaking. Who is this kohen? He speaks to the nation in which language of Lashon HaKodesh, as the Gemara will prove for us. And what does he tell them? Shema Yisrael. Listen very closely. You're going to engage your enemy, not your brethren, your fellow Jews, against which sometimes they would wage war. But here it's a totally different arena. Lo Yehuda al Shimon. It's not like battling Yehuda against Shimon. Lo Shimon al Binyamin, or Shimon against Binyamin. There it's different. Shem tiplu biyadam, if you should be captured by your fellow Jews, Yirachma aleichem, ultimately they'll have compassion on you and treat you with respect and safely. Kama shenemar, as the pasuk says, when there was an inter-nation Klal Yisrael war, vayikumu anoshim asher nikvu b'shemos. So these people went ahead, vayachziku b'shivyon, they took hold of the captives, the Jewish captives. V'chol maramim hilbishum min hashalom, they got them dressed. Vayalbishum v'yanilum v'yachilum, gave them to eat and to drink. V'yashkum v'yischum, anointed them. V'yinhalum b'chamorim kol koshel, and they rode them on the donkeys. V'yivum Yericha ir hatmarim etzlachem v'yishivu shemra. They delivered them to Yericha and they went back home. So Jews are Jews. Ultimately, they'll have rachmanas on you. Not to worry. But here it's different. You're engaging your fierce enemy, your goyim. You're going to engage the goyim. If you should fall in their hands, chas v'shalom, they're not going to have rachmanos on you. But still, no fear. Hashem is with you. Al yerach levavchem, al tiru, al techbas, all different types of lashonas, of fear and trepidation and fright. Don't worry about it. And each one relates to a different form of sort of psychological warfare that the nations would employ, all types of sounds and frightening noises. Al yerech levavchem. Have no fear. What is that referring to? Mipnei tzahalas susim. The screaming of the horses. Don't worry about them. V'tzachzuach charavis, and the clashing of the swords. Al tiru. Don't have fear. Mipnei hagafas trisen. They used to bang their armor to emit those loud sounds and to scare them off. Don't worry about it. V'shivas hakalgasin, and the noise of the multitudes of soldiers. And al tichbasu, that's the third lashon. Al tachbasu mikol krones. Don't worry about the horns that they blow. Al tarzu, that's the fourth lashon. Mipnei kol tzvaches, the yelling and the screaming that the enemy engages in to scare you off. Don't worry about it, because you have something stronger than them. Ki Hashem lekechem, ha'olech limachem. Hashem, who's going with you, He's going to give you success. Look, they're coming with the power of human beings. Coming with the power of Hashem's power, Hashem's koyach, who will make you win and be manatzeach the war. Two examples. Plishtim, bo b'nitzchenu shel Goliath. When the Plishtim came to battle, they were reliant on the power of Goliath to bring them nitzach and to bring them victory. What was the end? He was felled by a sword, and so was his nation. V'naflu imoy, and the Plishtim fell along with him. Another example, Bnei Amoin, when they came to battle, Bnei Yisrael, bo b'nitzchenu shel Shevach, they were confident in the power of Shevach, their leader. Ultimately, what happened? Him and his nation all lost the war. But you're different. You're totally different. Hashem who's accompanying you to war. He will bring you victory. What does it mean? Hashem is going with you? Is specifically speaking about the Arain. That was the Machna, the camp that carried the Aron with them, basically meaning that since the Aron with the broken luchos came along with them, that was a security escort which guarantees you victory. So we begin with the Meshuach Muhammad, who addresses the nation, V'lashon HaKodesh. How do we know? My Kamar, what does the Mishnah mean that, we're going to learn from this pasuk that it's in Lashon HaKodesh? What does it say Lashon HaKodesh in the pasuk? The Mishnah means like this. This is how we learn it. Shenamar v'diber. Here it says that the Meshuach Muhammad speaks v'diber. Ulahalon, and elsewhere we have a similar pasuk. Moshe Yedaber. By Matan Torah, Moshe speaks. And we learn a Gzera Shava connection. Ma'alal, and just like over there, we have the Lashon Yedaber. It happened b'Lashon HaKodesh. We know the Torah was given in Lashon HaKodesh. Afkan here as well, the Meshuach Muhammad speaks b'Lashon HaKodesh. Tana Rabbanan. So we learn that it's the Meshuach Muhammad who speaks. How do we know? Pasuk says a kohen speaks. Maybe any kohen. Tana Rabbanan. V'nigash ha-kohen v'diber lam. The kohen gets up and speaks to the nation. Yochel kol kohen she'yirtza. Perhaps any kohen could decide to speak. Tamulay mar. The answer says like this. The pasuk a bit later speaks about the shoitrim. The officers. Tamulay mar dibra shoitrim. They go and they review what explain what the kohen said. So we connect the two speakers, the kohen to the shoitrim, and they must be of similar, stature. Ma shoitrim b'memuna, just like the shoitrim are people that were appointed specifically for this position, and they're standing there to enforce and to oversee. Afkan b'memuna, likewise, the kohen is a special kohen who was appointed for this purpose. This is his job. This is his role, and not just a regular kohen. Okay, says the Gemara, Kohen Gadol. Maybe the head kohen, the Kohen Gadol, he's the one that does this. He's appointed maybe for this as well. This is his part of his appointment. Says the Gemara, Dumi, the shoiter, we compare it to the shoiter, to the officer again, and we say like this: Ma shoiter, just like the shoiter is a fellow sheyesh memuna al gabav, who has somebody on top of him. Rashi explains, shoiter is like a policeman. Who's on top of the policeman? The judge, because the policeman enforces the ruling of the judge. So he has somebody sort of on top of him. There's a hierarchy. He's number 2. Av Kain, likewise, the Kain that we're speaking about is somebody who is number 2. Sheish Mun al Gabav, there's somebody on top of him, which in this case would be the Kain Gadol. Right? So evidently it's not the Kain Gadol doing the job, it's somebody that has the Kain Gadol on top of him. So it's the Mashuach Muhammad who is doing this announcement, who fits the bill. Asks the Gemara, well, why not the Kain Gadol? He also has somebody on top of him. You know who the king? Kain Gadol Nami, Ha'ika Melech al Gabav, the Melech is one step above him. Answers the Gemara by Vidosei Ka'amar. We're speaking about a hierarchy within their job, within their avodah. So sure, the king is the ultimate authority, but he's not something that doesn't relate to the work of the Kohen Gadol. He's in a different realm, a different story. He's not doing the karbanis in the Beis Hamikdash. So evidently we're speaking about the Mashiach Muhammad, who's a Kohen, and he has the Kohen Gadol on top of him within the same context of avodah. They're both engaged in avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. So evidently it's him. Says the Gemara, we have one more option. Maybe it's the substitute Kohen Gadol, the backup Kohen Gadol, assistant Kohen Gadol. Maybe he's the one announcing because he has the Kohen Gadol on top of him. Skan lav mimunuhu. The answer is a very interesting point. The skan, although he's like the vice president, but that's it. It's largely a symbolic type of thing. He's not actually given any jobs at this point. As long as the Kohen Gadol is alive and well, the Skan is just sort of a fifth wheel for the time being. He's not really a Mamuna, he's not really appointed for any specific avodah. And therefore it doesn't fit the bill. We need a Mamuna, somebody who's appointed for this type of thing. The Sanya, as we learn, he himself was a Skana Kayan, and he says, look, I'll tell you the truth. I don't really have a position of authority. Lama Skan Mamuna, why did they appoint a Skan at all? Shim Ira by Psul B'Kohen Gadol. If something happens to the Kohen Gadol, he's unfit for avodah. Nichnas and Mishamash Tachtav, the Skan walks in and takes his place. But until then, he's a nobody. Asks Taisis, what do you mean? We have a Gemara, we have different rayas that a Skan was called a Mamuna. He was actually in charge of a lot of things in the Beis Hamikdash. He said an interesting insight. It wasn't really Min HaTorah. Min HaTorah doesn't have any chashivos. It happens to be that, I guess, he's unemployed, so they gave him certain jobs. Maybe he was more prominent than the rest of the Kohanim, so they gave him certain jobs, but it wasn't an official position. It was just circumstantial. They put him in charge of certain things in the Beis Hamikdash. Or in terms of his chashivas min ha-Torah, to say that the Torah had him in mind, well, no, he's not really Mamuna. He doesn't have any special appointment, and therefore he does not fit this bill. Rather, we conclude that the announcer here is a Kohen Meshuach Muhammad, appointed for this job, appointed to this position, and who has an authority above him, the Kohen Gadol. He begins speaking. V'amar lehem. He says the words Shema Yisrael. Listen to me, Klal Yisrael. Why does he use this interesting way of opening his discussion? Shema Yisrael. Mai shno Shema Yisrael. Amar b'yechan v'shum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. There is something very profound. It was a very direct message. Amar lehem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. He was expressing Hashem's message to Klal Yisrael. He was conveying Hashem's words. Afilu le'kiyamte. Even if all you've done is Krishma in the morning and at night, that's it. You have enough schos to protect yourself. You will not be handed to the guy, you will be protected. And it continues, you should know that the Kohen Meshuach speaks to the Klal Yisrael twice. Once when they're still in the land, at the border, on the way out. And number 2, when they're standing at the battlefield. And each time it's a different message. Bisfar Mahu Omer, when they're leaving their city, their country, what is he telling them? Shimu Divrei Ma'archei HaMelchama. Listen to the words, my words, of the Kohen's words. Ma'archei HaMelchama, who's arranging, the words that are instructions, which are meant to arrange the battle system here. Basically, what he's saying is, you are suitable for warfare, you are not, right? He tells them all the rules and all the exemptions. Those that are exempted from battle go back home. Those who built their homes, etc. We'll see later on in the parak. So that's the first thing. V'chizru, okay, and whoever's ineligible for war, go back home. Okay, so he has the battle-ready soldiers, and they proceed to the battlefield. And what does he tell them over there? No fear, Rabbi Yisrael, Hashem is with us. Al yerech levavchem, al tiru, no fear, al techpasu, al tarzu. Why these four expressions? Yira, tachpasu, terzu. Why these four lashonos, right? Al yerech levavchem, al tiru, al techpasu, al tarzu. Like we said in the Mishnah, because there are four, tactics that the goyim employ to scare them off. The four things that they do, megifen, they clash their armor, their shields, umerian, and they ring out with their shofars, with their horns, tzaychen, they yell out, v'roimsin, and they jump around and clap with their horses to scare off their enemies. No fear, Rabbi Yisrael, Hashem is with us. And it continues with some examples from history. Plishtim bo b'nitzchene shel Goliath. Right? So they came with Goliath leading them. They figured, okay, automatic victory, and they lost big. So his name was Goliath, right? How did he get such a name? Amar b'yechon Amar b'gili panim fnei Kadosh Baruch Hu. He expressed himself with gili panim. Rashi says it means b'chutzpah, with brazenness before Hashem. He sort of challenged Hashem. How do we know? Shenamar, the pasuk says, "Bru lachem ish v'yered Elah." He called out to Yisrael, "Choose an ish who will come face me in battle." And the Gemara says that ish here is a reference to Hashem, or somebody representing Hashem. Ve'ein ish ela Kadosh Baruch Hu, as we find in the pasuk, Shenamar Hashem ish milchama. So he made this brazen expression against Hashem. Omar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem responds, "Hareinim apiloi," I will bring about his downfall. Al Yad Ben Ish, in the hands of somebody called Ben Ish. Right? He challenged the Ish. I'll bring a Ben Ish. Perhaps the message here is that Klal Yisrael, specifically David HaMelech here, who won him over, was the son of Hashem, so to speak. He's Hashem's child. Shenamar David Ben Ish Efrasi. Hazeh. Omar b'yechon Meshumar b'meir b'shloisha. Mekaimois lokdoi piv. We find that Goliath expressed himself 3 times verbally, and those words, so to speak, came back to haunt him. First time was Echad bru lachem ish v'yered Eloi. Choose anybody and have him come Eloi. Rashi says he could have said v'lachem iti, should battle against me. Eloi means like he's going to prevail over me. So he had a slip of a tongue there, which proved to be right. V'idach, the second time, im yuchal lilachem iti v'ikani. Can anybody come and battle me? Iti. Again, a lashon of, somebody's going to come hit me. V'idach, and the third time, a similar expression to Kamal David. He calls out to David, who came out to challenge him. Hakelav anochi kataboy like b'makles yam adog. That he come and hit me with a stick. Again, referring to him being hit and being struck. Asks the Gemara, but David Nami Amarle, David HaMelech as well used similar language. And you're coming to me with all kinds of weapons, and I'm coming to you with Hashem. So David HaMelech is sort of acknowledging that Goliath can strike him with all these things. No, just the opposite. Hadur Amarle, he came back and he told him, it was just a contrast. Look, you're trying to threaten me with those weapons. It's small change. It's worthless because I'm coming to you with Hashem. So it was not an expression of submission, just the opposite. So what did Goliath do? The Plishti, Goliath, approached and challenged and called out to the Machne Yisrael, Hashkim V'arev, morning and night. Oh, Rabbi Yehuda, why did he pick those times? He knew the power of Krishma, and he wanted to interfere with the Krishma that Klal Yisrael were involved in. And he positioned himself, 40 days in a row. He stood there. He had something in mind. He was hoping to utilize take advantage of the fact that it took 40 days for Klal Yisrael to really get the luchos, 40 days of preparation. So during those 40 days, they weren't really yet fortified with Torah, and he wanted to take advantage of that sort of gap in the power of Klal Yisrael to battle them. And his name was Goliath. Why is it called Benaim? Isha Benaim, my Benaim. We have several pshatim. Omar Rav says Shemabuna Mikol Mum. He was totally fixed up, totally complete. Nothing wrong, no blemish. He was some man. Shmuel Omar Beinoni Shebe'echav. He wasn't even the strongest of his brothers. He was somewhere in the middle. Dvid Rab Shila Omar Shu Osir Kebinyan. He appeared like a structure, like a building. That's how strong he was. That's how big he was. Rabbi Yehuda Omar. Actually, the reason why he's called Isha Benaim, because his father was unknown. He was a son, the son of Mea Papi, 100 sort of stepfathers, not really his father. V'chadanani, one of them being his father. Rashi explains that his mother was involved with 100 other men and with her husband. And he was born from that whole scenario, so it was sort of like a mamzer, so to speak. V'Goliath Shemoy. So that the point here is that his father is unknown, and that's why he's called Ish HaBenaim. Right? Somewhere from this whole arrangement. V'Goliath Shemoy, he was called Goliath Megas, from Gas. The Gemara explains that Gas here means like this. Tanu Rav Yosef Shakol Doshnes Ima Kigas. All these men were involved with his mother, like you press the wine press. Ksiv Ma'oris V'Karina Ma'rochis. The pasuk describes him as coming from a place called Ma'oris Plishtim, and we read it a bit differently. Ma'rochis Plishtim. Once again, Tanu Rav Yosef Shakol Heru Bi'imoi. It relates to the fact that many were involved with his mother as married. And that's the lashon of Heru. Now, who was his mother? His mother was none other than Arpa, daughter-in-law of Rus, who initially came along with Rus. Right? They came along to join their mother-in-law, but ultimately Rus stuck, but Arpa went back home. So she was Goliath's mother. Ksiv Harpa, Uksiv Arpa. One place we find her name as Harafa, the other place is Arpa. How's that? Rav Shmuel. One will explain like this. Chad Amar Harpa Shema, her real name was Harpa, Blamek Nikr Shema Arpa. Why was she called Arpa in some places? Shakal Urf and Oisam Acharea. Because men were involved with her from the back improperly, and that's why she's called Arpa, Lashon of Eiref. V'chad Amar Arpa Shema, her real name is Arpa, Blamek Nikr Shema Harpa. Why Harpa? Shakal Doshn Oisa Karifais. They all engage with her physically, like compared to harifais, which are grains of wheat, which are pushed and crushed, and their skins are removed. As we find elsewhere, the harifais is a lashon of peeled wheat. She spread these grains, these kernels on the masach. Another raya. We see harifais are kernels that are crushed in this mortar to remove their skins. Yuldu laharpa begas. Vayiplu biad David biad avadav. So Harpa had 4 sons who were felled by David and his servants. Ma'ninu, who are the 4 sons of Harpa? Amar Chizda, it was Saf, Umadon, Goliath, and the 4th one was Vayishvi Benayv. Vayiplu biad David biad avadav. Why were they felled by David? Tichsiv atishak Arpa lacham moisa. Rus davkaba. So Rus went along with Naomi and converted, and ultimately was the grandmother of David HaMelech, as opposed to Arpa, who gave her mother-in-law a kiss, a goodbye kiss, and went back home. And she gave up this opportunity to join the Jewish nation. Amar Yitzchak, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hashem responded by saying, Yavoyu b'nei Neshuka, v'yiplu b'yad b'nei Adavuka. Arpa is called Neshuka. She was kissed by Naomi. And some Mepharshim say that Ben Yehuda says by giving her that Neshika, she sort of extracted the any element of good that was within her. Interesting pshat. So all that was left there was Ra. She went back home with baggage of just Ra. And Hashem says her children will fall in the hands of Rus, who is Davuk, who cleaved, who stuck to it. David and his servants. Davar Shrava. B'schar Arba Dmois. We find that they cried. Even Arpa cried when she left her mother-in-law. So she shed 4 tears. She cried twice, so each time it's 2 tears. And B'schar Arba Dmois Sharida Arpa al Chamoisa, because of the 4 tears that Arpa shed when she left her mother-in-law. Zachsa v'yotza men Arba Giberin. She was there the 4 giants and 4 mighty children. Shenema Batisena Koilan Bativkena Oid. So they cried again, second time. So it's a total of 4 tears. And because of that, she was there the 4 Giberim, which were ultimately taken out by David HaMelech. Now regarding Goliath, first it says Ksiv Chetz Chanisai. So it has Lashon Chetz. Ukarinon Eitz Chanisai. His spear is Eitz. Why was it called Chetz and Eitz? Amar Beleza Adain Lo Yigi'anu L'Chatzi Shvachai Shel Oisei Rasha. Even though we speak so much about the power of Goliath and how strong he was, etc., we haven't even reached half. We haven't even described half his power. Well, we stop there. That's why it says Chetz. Chetz is Chetzi. Mekan, we learn from here. We're not meant to praise Rishayim. So why speak at all about Goliath's strength and power? Why even discuss it at all? The point was just to show, to notify, to inform everybody the Shvach, the praise of David HaMelech, that he didn't hesitate to take on Goliath despite him being so strong and fearful. Bnei Ammon bo b'netzchene shel Shevach. So Bnei Ammon came to attack with their leader, whose name was Shevach. Ksiv Shevach. In one place he's called Shevach with a vase, or Ksiv Shevach elsewhere with a fei. We have 2 ways to explain. Rabbi Shmuel. Chad Amar, one says Shevach Shemai. His name was really Shevach. V'lo minikol Shevach. Why was he called sometimes Shevach? Shasek Shevach. He was big and tall like a birdhouse. V'chad Amar Shevach Shemai. He was really called Shevach. V'lo minikol Shemai Shevach. Why sometimes Shevach? Shekol Aroya Oisei Nishbach Lefan of Kikit, and whoever sees him and is challenged by him gets killed on the spot. Blood is spilled like a container of water. Ashpasai Kekever Pasuach Kulam Giberim. So once we find the machlekes over here, so we bring another machlekes Rabbi Shmuel regarding a different pasuk, speaking about Giberim, whose Ashpasa is Kekever Pasuach. What does that mean? Rabbi Shmuel, there's machlekes between these 2 Amorim. Some say between Rabbi Amin and Ravasi. Chad Amar one explained. This is a pasuk in Yirmiyah that Hashem will bring an enemy who are going to be strong and attack Klal Yisrael. Why are they called Ashpasai? So one explained like this: Chad Amar b'shosh zerkin chetz. They're so strong when they shoot their arrow. They generate piles and piles of victims. Maybe they're just experts at shooting, not on account of their physical strength. It's just a skill, so to speak. The Pasuk said they're powerful. On account of their power, they knock out their enemy like that. The other one explains. The Lashon Ashpasa is referring to their physical function. When they tend to their physical needs, they generate piles and piles of waste. Is it because they're suffering from some intestinal ailment? No. They're powerful, strong, and healthy. It's just that they shed all this waste because, as Rashi says, because they eat a lot. They have a big appetite on account of their physical beings. Amar Rav Morish, we learn from here. The fact that the Gemara asked, well, is it because they're unhealthy and they're unwell? The Gemara says, no, it's on account of their pronounced physical presentation. So the fact that we figured it had something to do with an unhealthy situation, we learn from here, a person who has excess amount of waste, it's not a good sign regarding his intestinal system. What's the point of discussing this? Lidrich benafshei. So one should know that if Chas v'Shalom he's experiencing difficulty with tending to his needs, so he should go ahead and be matriach himself to go seek remedy and refuah, so that he can contain his condition and not let it deteriorate. Oh, one more Gemara. Daga belev ish yashchena. This is a pasuk in Mishlei. When a person has daga, he has worries. What are we meant to do? Yashchena. We have two ways to explain this pasuk. Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Asi. Chadama one says the way to address worries and fears is yaschena midate. Just remove it from your mind. Get rid of it. Change the topic. And actually, the pasuk concludes with the words "V'davar toiv yisamchena," says the Maharsha. Engage in Torah, which allows you to focus on the present and put things in perspective. That's one approach. V'chadam, the other one explains, Yashchena means Yasichena lacherim. Go have a discussion. Talk it over with a friend who might advise you the way through your dilemma. And again, says the Maharsha, and that's why the pasuk concludes with "V'davar toiv yisamchena." Your good friend will give you some good advice to get you out of your dilemma. Now, somebody asked the Vilna Gaon. The pasuk says Yashchena with a shin. How can we change it to Yaschena, Yasichena lacherim? It says the Vilna Gaon, Yashchena means to minimize, to lower. Like Yishafar la'aretz nafshenu. Shacha la'aretz nafshenu. Shacha means to bring down. Just bring it down, to minimize it. There are two ways to do it. One is Rav Ami's approach. Yaschena midaita. How do you make Yashchena? By miyasiach das from it. So they're sort of just playing on words. The pasuk Yashchena means bring it down. It appears like, your worry is larger than life. Bring it down. Minimize it. Face it as it is. Don't make it bigger than it is. How do you do that? You're in it. How do you see it for what it is objectively? Two ways to do it. Either Yaschena midaita, put it on the side for a minute. Engage in Torah, which helps you focus on the present, helps you live in the reality of things. And then when you're out of it for a while, then you can go back into it with that. Now you have that vantage point. You can see it for what it really is. Not to worry. It's manageable. That's one approach. Or go to somebody else who's not in it right now. You're in it. You can't handle it. But go to somebody else who has an objective view, can see it crystal clear for what it is. And that'll help you minimize it and bring it down. I'll show you how to get away from it, how to get around it. Vilna Gaon. Okay, let's just recap today's daf. We learned about the pitfalls of chanufa. In fact, we have 4 kitos that are not makal pnei shchina. One has to take care to avoid late sanas, chanufa, sheker, and lashon hara. The Mashiach Muhammad, who was appointed specifically for this purpose, would go out and address the nation on the way to war. No fear, no worry, no intimidation, no fright. The Goyim, what do they have? Power of Basar V'Dam. We have the power of Hashem. Look what happened to Goliath, to Shevach. And then we had Daga Levish Yaschena. All the best to you, Hatzlacha Rabbah, and Hashem should give us B'suras Tevas. Amen.